Hello and welcome. My name is Grace, and in this video I'm going to share with you the decks I'll be working with for the month of May. I thought I would squeeze in a little video recording and while I have my morning coffee before I get started on my day. I already have the laundry in case you hear the noise in the background, because I'm aware that my videos can be quite noisy. I'm sorry. Like I said, everybody's home, and I have to multitask when I'm home. So, all right, enough of that. Let's talk about the decks. Okay, so for want to talk about the Oracle deck? Let's talk about the Oracle decks because I'm using multiple Oracle decks. I always do. I think I have, I know I have more Oracle decks than I have Tarot decks. So we'll leave the Tarot deck for last. And I'll start with the card I drew. So I'm still working with, I think it's going to be a year-long thing. I'm still working with the Goddess Oracle by Amy Sophia Marashinsky, illustrated by Rana Yanto. This is a classic. If you don't know where to start and you want your first Goddess Oracle, I highly recommend this one. I know there's other ones out there. Some of them I like, some of them I don't. I highly recommend this one because it's a classic. I think everybody has this one. But anyway, I'll just quickly show you what they look like, and then I'll share with you the card I picked for May. Or the goddess, rather, that picked me for May. Mine are trimmed. I trimmed them. I think they had, I'm pretty certain they had white borders on the backs. I'm considering trimming them all the way down to the art, but like for Pachamama here, it's a bit blurry where the white of the bottom border ends and Pachamama painting begins. But the other ones you could see I guess I would have to use a guillotine cutter and measure, right? I'm thinking of cutting them right down to the art, which would remove the wording on the backs, which I don't like how they were done. I don't whatever. Fussy, right? But still love this deck. And I've seen it completely trimmed. I think on Instagram, someone I follow has it completely trimmed, and it's beautiful. But I haven't decided yet. So far, I trimmed the white borders. I trimmed the white borders around the sides and top, and I'm happy so far. So this was March, and Michelle was April. Where is she? Well, she's not around. Okay, I think she's. Anyways, you don't need to know what my card was for April because I've already mentioned it. And this is my card for May. Lilith, Power. I rolled my eyes a little bit, so we'll see what happens. But we'll see what I report back at the end of the month. I rolled my eyes a little bit because I'm not really feeling power right now. Maybe that's why Lilith is presenting herself at this time. So this is just a beautiful. I love this, the artist interpretation. Artist rendition of these goddesses. Sorry, just love it. So yeah, just sharing a little more. Oh, we'll stop here. All right. So yeah, Lilith for the month of May. So because I drew Lilith for the month of May, I'm also thinking of, or maybe I thought of it first. Anyway, I need to do some work with my matron, the Black Madonna. So it's in line with that kind of energy. Okay, so that's my goddess card for May. And I'm finding this is a good way of using multiple decks. And I don't have a lot of, when you don't have a lot of time to play with your cards and that kind of stuff. It's a good way to use a number of your decks, have them work for you in terms of drawing in certain energies and spirits and stuff like that. The next Oracle card I pulled for the whole month of May is from the Shaman's Oracle, and it's Dancer of Lies. So that was interesting in terms of it. The cards I pulled for the month are these two, and it sets the tone. Oh no, there's a third card I pulled for the month. So the Shaman's Oracle, if you've never seen it before, it's been around for a while. It's by John Matthews and Will Kingan. I think Will Kingan did the art. The art is based on cave paintings. It's not actual cave paintings. It's based on cave paintings. It has a system. I don't use it. I have not used this deck according to the system yet. I just go to this deck when I feel drawn to it. It's one of those decks that sits on my shelf, and I don't think much of it. When it's time to cull, it always gets the side eye, and it never makes the cull. It always stays, and it always makes the cull. Sorry, the other way. It stays, is what I'm trying to say. And it's because it's just, I think I've mentioned it in another video, where it's a very academic oracle deck. I really enjoy it. And again, just one card is enough. One card is enough to give me a lot to think about and to observe. So I pulled one. So I drew one card from here for the whole month of May, and we'll see how that works with the Lilith energy. And then the third oracle card I drew for the month is from another favorite. Well, of course they're my favorites. I keep them, right? But anyway. But this one, I raved about it. Sacred Vision oracle cards. And this is the card I drew for May. And this one I'll read what the back says. In divine light you overflow with love. You carry the sacred arrows that teach you about the clouds, so full of water that the rain comes like droplets of wisdom into your sea of consciousness, and you begin to learn. The sacred flute carries your prayers of love, and all the symbols of treasured peoples and dreams reflect upon you with the light of the great sun. You are a sacred lover full of fragrance, and the wind comes to spread your perfume across the land. You stand before the Great Spirit in a state of grace. Name your darkness, that sad quality that you have held, and as you call it by name, feel it begin to disappear. You hold on to your faith the same way that you grip your arrows of destiny. You are not meant to live in darkness, but in the light of your own integrity. Move with the flow of life and let go of any sadness from your earlier years. Be serene and at ease as the light begins to define you. So this is a beautiful card. If you see, there's symbols of many faiths in the stained glass, and this deck is just incredible. This is what the backs look like. The back only had, so these cards, it's a very small deck. I think there's like 29 cards. The cards are split by the directions on the medicine wheel. So this one's north. This card I picked for May is north, and then this is what the other ones look like on the backs. And if you haven't seen these, I think I have. For sure, I have a flip through on my channel. The artwork is just incredible, 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 incredible. Yeah. So this is my card for May. In the guidebook, there is a little bit more information about this card, but most of it is on the backs. I've seen, I think it's Tom Benjamin that he read back these cards because he didn't like seeing the writing on the back because it is in the guidebook. I wouldn't have gotten the cards if it bothered me that there was writing on the backs, because otherwise it would drive me mental. Oh. I dropped the box. That's okay. All right, moving right along. For my daily draws. I left the box, but this one is like pretty popular. For my daily draws, I'm using my Mystical Shaman Oracle by Albert Violto. Another author. And then they slapped Colette Baron Reed's name on it because it's Hay House, right? So, but it's definitely, this is Mystical Shaman Oracle. The art is by Gina della Grottaglia, which is just stunning art. She's so versatile as an artist. I don't know if you see all the different decks that she's made art for, you see what a range that she has. And then these cards are just incredible. I love this oracle. I haven't used it since last summer. I just felt when I sat in front of my shelves where I keep my tarot and oracle decks, I just waited to be inspired to pick the decks I'm going to work with. My daily draw for yesterday was the Blade, and it furthered the narrative of Lilith, Dancer of Lies, and Serenity. And then for my tarot deck for the month of May, I was drawn to my Druid craft. Mine was the one that was accidentally trimmed completely naked, and it is in my top. It's one of my top 3 favorite tarot decks. I was just drawn to, I guess after all that watery energy of the cards I was doing my daily draws with in April, I was craving a little earth and a lot of fire. And these were my daily draws for yesterday when I selected my cards for the month of May. So we'll see how that works out. The last thing I wanted to share is, there's 2 more. So another project I decided hopefully I'll get to it this month. But a project I've decided to I want to get back into Cartomancy. Just as a little refresher, just to revisit an old friend. So I bought a 2-pack of bicycle cards from Amazon. This was a couple of months ago. So I pulled them out. I'm going to keep the red ones for reading, but the blue ones I'm going to use, the blue backs. I think I mentioned that. See, now I'm thinking I'm having a deja vu. I think I mentioned it in a previous video where the blue ones I'm going to either use to some days it's just not the neurons are just not firing. Okay, hang on. So I have another deck of cards, not these are brand new. I have another deck of cards that I use for like magic, for spells and stuff like that. So the thing is, here's what I'm going to recommend. I need to recommend this because if you're new, if you're really new, if you're new to tarot, if you're new to magic, do not use tarot cards for your spell work because there's too many variables. There's too many nuances. You can get a result you really didn't want, and it can range from the result you didn't want to something devastatingly disruptive to your life. So if I could give you one word of advice, if you're new to tarot, do not use it for spell work. Make sure that you're really solid in your experience with tarot and your knowledge of tarot before even attempting using tarot cards for spell casting. However, playing cards would be where I would start. There's so many books out there with the meanings to playing cards for reading. It really doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a right one. It's the right one for you. Although you'll see that you could buy 10 books on Cartomancy and they all pretty much basically give the same meanings. You can apply Marseille meanings to these. If you don't want to go out and buy a book on Cartomancy, Marseille meanings, most of the people I knew that read playing cards, it was Marseille meanings. Once, I just noticed from observation that it was Marseille meanings. But these are straightforward. There's less nuance. If anything, there's no nuance. These are straightforward, very mundane. So if you stick to the Cartomancy meanings, they're very mundane, and what I'm trying to say is that they're safer to start with spell casting. And I still will resort to these before I resort to a tarot card for that reason. I don't like surprises, and it's the absolute worst when you're unpleasantly surprised by something that you did, or by actions you sent in motion, or energies you sent in motion. It's very disappointing and very frustrating and upsetting, and it can be downright devastating. So, okay. Thus ended my lecture on that. But what I'm planning to do with the new ones, because I have some other cards that I've been reading with for years. Those are going to remain the cards I read with. With the new ones, what I was planning to do is with the blue ones, I was going to just go card by card and with a pen write down the meanings of the cards on the cards. And then I'll have a resource and then just keep going back with, because there's the meanings I learned, and then there's the meanings I read about. So there's the meanings I learned as a kid. There's the meanings I read about, and then there's the meanings that I learned from experience reading. So that's what I'm going to do with the blue backs. And then with the red backs, I may use them. This may become my new Cartomancy deck. I'm not sure yet, but the blue ones for sure are going to be the resource, the reference deck. That's what I was trying to say. Oh my God. Last but not least, for the month of May, in my April favorites, I discussed incense and how I was not happy with 2 out of the 3 incenses I used in April. I've decided today that I'm just going to call the incense that I'm not crazy about and just keep what I love and burn that, because life is too short to pollute your house with incense you don't love. I was so excited. I went into my incense stash to find one last box of Palo Santo. I only discovered Palo Santo incense 2 years ago. It's like I was like the last person to find out about it. But anyway, so I'm very excited. I think this is a 20 sticks box. So this will take me through the month for sure, and I'll try to space 20 sticks, and I'll make sure to alternate it with other ones. And then I was really happy to find one last little box of this one. I love this one, and this is what I'm burning right now, Frankincense and Myrrh by Hem. So yes, I'm happy with my May incense selection. I think I have some Nagchampa, which I'll just break it up with, alternate with the Nagchampa, because that's for me is like a standard favorite, and some sandalwood. All right. So that's it for my video. Oh, one last thing. While I'm on the subject of Cartomancy, I think what I'm going to do is the same thing with these guys. In my book, which I don't think I have a copy of my book right here, but that's all right. In my book, I have chapter 8. I have written about divination and the meanings for the Italian. Oh, thank you. In my book, chapter 8, there's the meanings for these cards. And when I wrote my book, I transcribed the meanings for these cards from my recipe book. Literally, that's where they live. Like the original meanings it's tucked into my recipe book that my Zia gave me. It's disintegrating. So this was an opportunity to write that stuff down so I didn't lose it. But I'm thinking of doing the same thing with these. These are pretty, well, not right now. They're not easy to find, but I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to find another deck of Neapolitan playing cards. I'm going to do the same thing and write down the meanings of each card on the cards and have a reference deck. I might yeah, because I like having a reference deck more than that sheet of paper that's disintegrating. So so I'm thinking of making a reference deck with this. I had a jumbo copy of Neapolitan playing cards, and I don't know. I just didn't like it. I don't know what my problem was. I'm an idiot. But anyway, I ended up moving it along or passing it along. I don't know what I did with it, and I should have kept it because that cardstock was more papery than this one. This is plasticated. Plasticated, that's I took an Italian word and I made it English. You know what I mean. Laminated. I ended up moving those along. I don't know why. I think it's because, I don't know, I wasn't in the headspace. I should have kept those because they were like the jumbo Neapolitan playing cards, and that would have been a lot of room to write on and to keep them as a reference deck. So yeah, I'm feeling a little annoyed with myself right now. It happens. All right, that's it for me. Those are the decks that I'm working with in the month of May. At the end of the month or early next month, it'll be part of my check-in for what my May favorites were or how that worked out for me. I might split that up, and I think I end up splitting that up into a separate video of its own because I imagine I'll have quite a bit to say about all these decks at the end of May or early June. And that's it for me, and I'm wishing you all a beautiful day. Bye bye.